F-Stoppers is a photo and video channel. We try to never get political, and I promise I'm not gonna make this a political video, but this is such a strange video that's Photoshop and photo related, and we just had a completely new revelation today with this story that just came out, and I'm like, I have to cover this. This is just so wild. Let me give you a very quick overview of this story in case you haven't been following what's going on. I'm just gonna read some of this so I don't make a mistake. In March of 2025, the Trump administration began deporting alleged gang members to an El Salvador high security prison under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Kilmar Abrego Garcia was one of these people who was deported, and apparently he was deported by accident. Although he seems to have a shady past and may have ties to the gang MS-13, he's actually never been convicted of anything. On April 18th, Trump released this photo of himself holding another photo of Garcia's knuckles, and you can clearly see the text MS-13 above the images below. Now, when this came out, I saw all of these headlines about how the White House and Trump have purposefully photoshopped this image to frame Garcia to try to make themselves look better and Garcia look guilty. And I thought, okay, this is really interesting. I actually want to learn about this and do a story about it because we do photo and video and Photoshop news all the time. But when I looked into it, I realized this isn't really a story at all. Clearly, this text has been added, and it's simply showing what the images below represent. Marijuana is M, the smiley face is S, the cross is apparently a 1, and the skull is 3. Seemed a little far-fetched to me, but I was like, okay. And then very soon after this, other images were released with Garcia's actual tattoos, and you can clearly see the text is not there. So I just thought, okay, this has been wildly exaggerated. There is no story here. Yes, the image was doctored, obviously, but it's not trying to pass itself off as actual text. It's just showing what the images represent, right? That's what I thought until today, when I just saw an interview with Trump that ABC did. Trump actually thinks that the text is a real tattoo. You probably don't believe me. Watch this.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
So how did this happen? On one hand, you could argue that, well, this proves Trump is innocent. He didn't doctor it on purpose because even he thought it was real. But on the other hand, this is the best evidence that we have of Garcia's gang affiliation. This is what the White House has been using to prove his guilt for the last few weeks now. And Trump actually thought that the MS-13 text was part of the real tattoo. How many other people in his administration also believe that? Is it all of them? So as I promised at the beginning of this video, I am not going to make this political. I'm not going to get into my opinions or anything like that. But wow, never in a million years would I have guessed that the guy everyone thought photoshopped an image to trick the population was actually tricked himself. Unbelievable.